Good morning, small players. Welcome to another episode of our morning live stream where we run through all the morning gappers on our scanner and we talk about the support and resistance levels that we will use to trade. We have a lot of new subscribers today, so welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy all the educational content. I'm going to just give you guys a quick rundown of what we do here every morning to make sure you're not lost. So basically, what we do is we look at our scanner. The scanner scans for gappers, which are stocks that are set to open higher than the closing price of the previous trading day because they had a major move either in the after-hour session yesterday or in the pre-market session this morning. Most of the time, these are stocks that have some sort of news that was dropped that caused increased buying. Now, this is nothing new because this happens in the entire stock market. There's 7,000 different stocks, but our scanner specifically looks for stocks that are that have low floats. So meaning there's a low number of outstanding shares, so it's a lot easier for them to move. And then it looks for stocks with high short interest, so that we can have multiple short squeezes throughout the day that help us have these more violent moves. And of course, they're all small caps, so they're cheap in terms of dollar amounts, not in terms of price to earnings ratio or anything like that, but cheap in terms of dollar amounts, and most importantly, they move a lot. So we have a few stocks on the scanner this morning. Obviously, the most interesting one is PALT, which we were trading in the pre-market trading session. We traded all day yesterday. Had a pretty insane move. Another thing that you should know as a trader is that we trade stocks multiple times. We go in and out multiple times. That's the only safe way to really trade. This was our first entry break above VWAP here. So too high of day. That was a 120% move from our entry. So obviously a big move. However, if I saw anyone's P&L show 120%, that they opened the position here and close it here, I would yell at them and say, you don't know how to trade because, the to the moon mentality doesn't work. We need to safely trade. And this is where our support and resistance levels come in. I'm actually, support and resistance, the basics of trading. I guess we have a few videos in support and resistance on the channel, so you should look at them. But anytime, and I apologize, this chart has so many lines. It's just that it was moving so much yesterday that we kept trading it and we needed the lines, and then they just kept coming and coming. Let me see if I can remove the ones from yesterday, older than 1 days. I don't know if that's going to include yesterday. Okay, got rid of some. So basically, anytime two candles touch a level, they form a support and resistance level. Support is a level where the stock bounces off of. A price point, it has difficulty falling behind. Like this would be a support level because the stock, has difficulty falling below. And then resistance level is a level where the stock is having difficulty going above, like this level here. We see a lot of congestion. We know that there's a lot of selling pressure there. And basically, we use these levels to identify selling and buying pressure so we can identify entries. So a break below support, if you're a long bias trader, that's where your stop loss would be because it's showing weakness. And if you're a short bias trader, that's where you would enter positions because it's showing that buyers are weaker than sellers. And then on the flip side of that, when you have break above resistance, if you are a short bias trader, that's where you get stopped out because it's showing strength. And if you are a long bias trader, you enter a break above resistance for a breakout trade. And then if we go down to support, but we don't go below it, this is VWAP, but we actually bounce, then that's another entry for long bias traders. So basically, we either trade breakout above a key level or a bounce on a key level. So right here we have a PALT, nice move this morning. So obviously it moved insanely yesterday. Then it was quiet in the after hour session. And then again, it's starting to move again today. We see here at 7:55 some increased volume. And then, once it broke above this key level of 9, I want to say like 905-ish, it started a massive squeeze that is sort of still squeezing. So we still have an hour to bell, and there's enough volume, and no spread, 2 cent spread, so not too much, to safely trade in the pre-market session. So we will, obviously be trading this, but the way we trade it, like let's say the stock opens here on bell at 979. That level doesn't mean anything to us because we haven't charted it as support or resistance. Well, actually, I'm just going to remove all the drawings, and then we can start charting out levels ourselves from this morning. Because we day trade, we use the intraday chart for price levels. I will sometimes also include the ones from yesterday, but I don't use daily levels. So this level is obvious level of support. The stock was bouncing there multiple times. And had real difficulty falling behind. So that would be my key level of support, $8, right? Then we have here, we're seeing price rejection on this candle and then sharp selling. So we know short sellers attacked on that level. And then we also see on that same price level, all of these candles. So it was hard for the stock to go above it. So we know that's a key level. 879, which also happens to be EMA 20. So that's a very important level. So if this stock were to drop to this level, and bounce, I would be a buyer there, right? And my support would be right below it, so I can have a safe risk reward trade. EMA to VWAP here would be an 8% trade, so you can probably get an easy, not easy, but a safe 5% move. Catch that, because you can buy the absolute lowest and you can buy on the absolute highest. You trade momentum. So if the stock is dropping to support, you want it to show strength. You want it to show that there's buyers there. You don't want to be the first one buying, so you want to see a bounce. So by the time you see a bounce, you lose some percentage there. Also, as you're heading to resistance, you don't want to sell right on resistance because you don't want short sellers to slam you down and not get a fill. You sell a little before, so you lose some there. So you catch the move in between, and that's how we trade. That's how we traded this all day yesterday. So those are the first two key levels, and then ever since it's been squeezing, we can open the 1-minute chart to just identify a few more levels where short sellers came in. They still haven't shown too much strength. Obviously, like this level right here of 1030 seems to be a level that they're defending. See, they're trying to sell it again. You can see this is how we use time and sales also. You see it hits 1030 and then it drops to 1025. Pretty instantly, in a matter of seconds. That shows you that there's a lot of short sellers there. So that's where they are. And this is how we identified the squeeze on CEI yesterday, the squeeze level. Be sure to watch the stream from yesterday. It's really good to understand short squeezes. But basically this one also, we know short sellers are heavily selling 1035, this area of 1035. That's where they're defending. We have 3 rejections there. Also in the trading world, we know 3 rejections of resistance are normally a short setup because buyers have shown that they don't have enough strength to push above this level. So normally after 3 rejections of resistance, we actually take our entire capital out and we wait for the next trade. And the next trade here would be either bounce on this key level of support, which is also EMA 20. If it drops further down, I would say maybe even bounce on this level right here. And then obviously the level that we identified before, which is probably going to be hard for it to drop all the way down there, but at this specific time, because there's a lot of momentum, but we shall see, because shorts are really strong, and if longs, because they did the 3 rejections, we're even going for a 4. So this trade right now, if you're still in it, is getting extremely risky, and this is time to just get out and wait for the next trade. Could it break above this and go to 11? 100% it could do that, but after 4 rejections of resistance, it could very easily drop to here pretty quickly. So at this point, the trade is no longer safe, and then you close out your position and you wait for the next trade. And the next trade is breakout above this level. So, 1035, I would say my entry would be 1036, and we can even set an alert, because there's no stop orders pre-market, so it's not like you can set a stop limit buy for 1036. So that would be my one trigger if it breaks above this level, and then the other trigger is obviously bounce on either one of these levels if it doesn't break above that level but goes down. So that's all we do as traders. We set our plan and then we wait for our triggers. We don't just buy here in no man's land when there's no clear direction. Right now you can't tell if the stock is bearish or bullish. It's figuring out direction. So this is not a casino. This is not a lottery. You're not gambling, right? So you're not saying, I'm just going to buy here and hope that it goes up and breaks above, because you'll know that it is. It's not telling you right now that it would do that. It's telling you that it has an equal chance of breaking above as it has a flushing below. So you don't try and guess what will happen. You just wait for one or the other trigger. And that's how we trade. So those are the key level for this one. It's obviously going to be a very key trade for the day. Well, actually, I am going to put these on scanner also. On our manual watch list, because the scanner has not picked them up, but they've been moving a lot for the past couple of weeks, and they are presenting some good trade opportunities in the market session. Obviously, they still don't have enough volume now, but they could, get some increased volatility in the market session. Granted, we have a separate scanner which does not give any results now because it's waiting for Bell. But this scanner scans momentum all day long. So after Bell, we move over to this one. You can purchase both of our scanners on our website, smallplayers.com/programs, and then you can go to scanners. Okay, so that's that. CEI, we've been trading for weeks. So I always just keep it on the watch list because sometimes the scanner won't pick it up if it's not technically gapping up enough. For us, it closed at 342 yesterday. So there's not increased volume. It's not only the gap that the scanner is seeing, it's also looking for increase in volume because it wants to see unusual volume, meaning unusual interest in the stock. So even though there's 12 million shares being traded, it's not unusual interest in the stock right now. And with the gapper and with the momentum, the scanner is not picking up currently. But as soon as some movements come in, it will. If it does, it will pick it up. So we want to be prepared in the event it presents more trade opportunities. Actually, I'm not loving the chart this morning because it's trading a little bit like it's barcoding a little bit. So it might be running out of steam for the week, but regardless, we still see a lot of volume, and we are going to be interested in potentially taking trades. And again, this one has so many lines because we've been trading it for days. I have to remove the old lines. But anyway, it's still holding actually above VWAP and EMA, so that's not so bad. It's not that destroyed by shorts, and it's still holding the gap up, but we're seeing a lot of selling here, right? In this area we have this one rejection here. Once it broke above it, we see a squeeze, so we know there's short sellers there. What is that? 409, 408, 408. So I'd like to say 410 is a key level that shorts are holding. So if we break above that level, we could see a squeeze. So that's one level that I would definitely be a buyer above. If it breaks above 410, that could provide, for a squeeze to high of day. And then if it breaks high of day, obviously more short sellers will get stopped and we can have a further move. Outside of that level, I suppose if it has rejections, I could trade a VWAP bounce. But it seems like it's had a lot of VWAP bounces that faked out and went below VWAP. This one even got completely shorted. So I'm not... Based on the chart this morning, I'm less interested in trading bounces. It's also been moving quite a lot. So, short sellers are going to be aggressive and could end up really pushing it down. So I would personally wait for a breakout for a short squeeze. And, if it gets destroyed all the way down here, right, then a break above VWAP would obviously be the first squeeze level, because that's such a key stop area for short sellers. Or even if we even depending on how low we get, even like this level that's key support now, would then turn resistance. So if we're here, even a break above that level could be squeeze level. But personally for me, the strategy on this one would be wait for short sellers to have their way with it, see where they want to bring it down to. As of right now, the squeeze level is 410, and that's always going to be the squeeze level. But if it gets pushed down even more, then we can have some squeeze levels before that level where we can be buyers to catch a bigger move. So I will wait to see where it bottoms out to see whether I'm interested in any other levels as a buyer. But right now, I would just wait for a break above that level. So we have our levels for Paul's actually also forming a 5-minute flag now. So a 5-minute flag break is one of our favorite setups. So if it breaks above this, would be buyers there. So actually, let me tell them in the chat room. Yeah. So we have our triggers for this. So obviously, we saw break above 35 as a squeeze potential, but also now if we break above this flag. That's a flag break setup. We like to trade that. I would also trade a VWAP bounce on this. Or maybe like even above VWAP, on this level that on the 1 minute chart we identified as support with stop below VWAP. A lot of potential trades here, a lot of good opportunities. So a VWAP bounce or like this support bounce, flag break, or break above this key level. And it's important to have all of those because sometimes you can also miss an original move, and here's the flag break. Sometimes, for example, like you might want to catch a VWAP bounce and you can either miss it or not get a fill. So it's important to not get FOMO and say, oh, I'm going to buy a VWAP bounce here. No, you missed the bounce. Wait for the next setup. It could give a flag break. It could give a higher day break. It could do so many other things. No need to no need to chase a setup if you missed the correct entry. Wait for a correct entry. There's so many opportunities in the market. You don't need to be chasing something that you missed. GROM, obviously it's on the scanner and obviously had quite the move yesterday. Let's just see. Okay, so this is a little tricky because basically there's no news on this stock, and this happens sometimes. Well, you should watch the live stream from 2 days ago. It's a 30-minute live stream. There's a playlist, by the way, on our channel, Daily Market Update. So that's where you can see the live stream. So from September 28th, I did a live stream explaining why news are important. The stock has no news. And already had an insane move yesterday. The one good thing about it is that it's listed on NASDAQ. NASDAQ does not seem to be that strict about stocks moving without news for whatever reason. Pretty much every time I've been stuck in or witnessed request for more information hold has been on NYSE. So if I see a stock that has no news and moves quite a lot, and it's on NYSE, I don't touch it. In the pre-market session, they normally don't hold that unless it has actual news, and they hold it news pending. Request for more information normally gets halted right on bell. So the pre-market is a little safer to trade when there's no actual news, and then in the market session, I would avoid it. This one specifically, NASDAQ, they don't really hold it. It had this insane move yesterday. They didn't do anything about it. So again, I just don't want to get in the habit of doing that because once you get stuck in an all-day hold request for more information, you never ever want to do it again. It's terrible. So you just know to avoid, no matter how tempting it may be. There's other opportunities in the market, and you sort of avoid that. But anyway, for this one, well, obviously it has a lot of trouble breaking above VWAP. About this level, I guess 4. So the first trade here for me would be break above 4. If I do decide to trade without news, I would do it in the pre-market session. I'm not sure I'll do it in the market session, even though, seeing this move from yesterday and them not doing anything about it is helpful. But also, sometimes like you don't know who's doing this. If they're pumping the stock and then they're looking to dump it, or if they're pumping the stock so that they can issue a secondary offering today. Like there could be a lot of sinister things that they're doing if their stock is moving without news. So my general idea is always to just stay away from it. But in the pre-market session, we could probably take a couple trades if it breaks above those levels. And then sometimes there's nothing sinister about it. Sometimes it just causes a short squeeze. But this is a pretty insane move without news. I'm concerned that someone's pumping this. Yeah, there is a big concern that someone's pumping this for whatever reason. Maybe they want to issue an offering. Yeah, those are a little tricky. We can watch what it's doing, but after the bell rings, I'd probably stay away from this one. Unless they actually drop news, but all of it just says that they have no news. They have no news. The company doesn't know. The company doesn't know what's happened. So let's see the last time they had actual news, because all of these news that you see here is just them saying that the shares were halted on volatility. Okay, so on September 16th, they had a private placement. That's actually enough of a catalyst. I know it's 2 weeks later. But it has a valid fat catalyst and is a low float. So it's not like it doesn't have news. Obviously, like that catalyst happened 2 weeks ago, and now we had this insane move yesterday for no new news. But these are low floaters. It's probably a short squeeze. I want to say a break above 2 looks like to have caused this massive move, right? Because it was stock below $2, and then we see Some selling there. So probably break above 2 is what caused a massive short squeeze. And then there's no rhyme or reason to those, right? There's no limit as to how high a stock can go. And once it breaks above a key level, yeah, so this was obviously like heavily shorted. That's where their stops were on $2. And they got stopped out and caused this massive squeeze. It had some news. So, yeah, I suppose the fact that it had news 2 weeks ago makes me feel a little better. I never want to trade stocks that are being pumped. This level also of 3 is a key level of resistance. And the reason why I'm looking on the daily chart on this is because it was obvious that yesterday it had a massive squeeze. So, I just want to know where short sellers were trapped. 4 is also quite a big area where they're trapped, and that's an area we're watching today. And 4, 5, which is also a level we're watching today. Okay, and then the next level for a squeeze is 5. Okay, great. So we can, at this point, if it breaks above all of these levels, we'll probably be trading it, so we'll know. But I'm still gonna set an alert for break above 5. Okay, so we know the squeeze levels there, and that's, I think, really it. This one is sort of like barcoding. I don't like that. I don't love stocks in this price point also, but I definitely just don't like the barcoding. I know, like, we'll see trade opportunities, but they're not my favorite. So whatever, we can, chart it. VLIN is actually something that shows up on Scanner. I want to say every few months. So it's a known stock to traders. This is a news move. It just dropped news 15 minutes ago, so it's going through its motions. The move could be done at this point. We talk about news moves also a lot on this channel. We'll see if it gives a bounce on this EMA 20 potentially, only because it's a known stock to traders. It's frequently on scanners, so traders will see it. It'll be a familiar name, and they might be interested in trading it. Any other stock, I'd say the news move, is done. But a bounce on this level could be a nice move towards VWAP for a quick trade. And then if it breaks above VWAP, then you can hold some. We can hold some. Yeah, it's like a 5% move, so you can probably catch a 3% move on that. And then if it breaks above VWAP, has time to maybe go towards high of day. So there could be some interesting trades there. This one, actually, now that it's in Scanner, that's another name that we've been trading so much over the past month. Obviously, volume's still too low now to even consider a trade, but it's on Scanner, and it's something that traders will recognize because it's such a known name. So this is a key level. This is the highest it's gone to, so it's a key level, and then we can actually include some from yesterday because obviously it got very heavily shorted, so we want to know where shorts are trapped. They really massively started shorting it from the break below this EMA, but once it dropped below this level, which is like a clear level of support, then they really destroyed it. So that, and then today they're still defending it. So that's the squeeze level. Break above 10.3 is my entry on this one. That's where it can start squeezing. So that's what I would trade. And that's it. Ride is another one that's known in the trading world. So still volume still too low on the day, but I'm going to put it on scan because Ride is a stock that's absolutely hated by hedge funds. It has some insane level of short interest. So every now and then it will do this mini squeeze. It has higher float than what we normally trade, but we've traded it before, so I know it can move. So I'm going to put it here. The other ones, volume's still too low right now for me to be interested in them. Okay, so those are the stocks that we're potentially going to be trading today if they hit our entry level levels of interest. I hope the stream was helpful. Please be sure to subscribe and turn post notifications on so you can watch tomorrow's and not miss it. Nice, you see the resolution on this flag break worked out pretty well. So yeah, so you don't miss it tomorrow, and so you can see what we're trading and what we'll be trading for the day. Thank you for watching.